Hi guys, this is Ian from the Uber Cruises. This following video was put together by my brother Craig and my sister-in-law Sharelle. They sailed last year from Brisbane, Queensland, sailed north up the east coast of Australia and visited Papua New Guinea. This video is a short reflection of their cruise and a ship tour of the Pacific encounter. Hope you enjoy it. Ciao!
It's our first cruise back from COVID, so we're looking forward to going, yes, to Papua New Guinea. First time ever and looking forward to it. Let's go cruising with Uber Cruises. 8 or so years ago, we went on a cruise with P&O. It wasn't a great cruise, and I swore I'd never go with P&O again. But here we are, travelling to Papua New Guinea with P&O Cruises. And I'm looking forward to it. I revised why I didn't like the cruise we went on, and these were the reasons, and most of them were my fault, not P&O's. We went in January, terribly hot. We went in January, school holidays. Families, kids did not enjoy it. However, there were a couple of things that were P&O's fault. The embarkation was terrible. It took over 2 hours to get on board to leave from Fremantle in Perth. The other thing was the food. The food was shocking. We did not rate the food at all. And the last thing was the boat itself. The ship was a very old ship. The furnishings, the carpets, everything was old. So we did have a pretty bad time about it. So after 7-8 years we decided to give it a go again, and we on a new ship. Well, I say new, it's the old Star Princess, but P&O have done a fantastic job. New carpets, new furnishings. Inside the ship it looks brand new. Outside not so much, but inside the ship is great. So I can highly recommend what they've done as far as the ship is concerned. But let's look at the other things that were important to us when we sail. The first thing that we need to look at is embarkation. COVID has brought a few changes to the cruising industry, and P&O staggered the times that you would get on the ship. We were scheduled to get on at 12 o'clock, and when we arrived 15 minutes early, nearly everyone on the ship was there waiting to get on board. Fortunately, I spoke to a P&O person and they said, don't worry about the queue, just sit down, wait till your time is announced and go to the front. And that's exactly what we did, and within 20 minutes we were sitting inside our cabin. So a very big plus for P&O, they've got it right this time. The second thing, of course, was the actual cabin. It's basically a princess cabin, very comfortable, maybe a tiny bit small, but nonetheless, particularly in the bathroom, but everything is adequate, and would recommend it. We were on deck 10, and deck 10 was terrific because we got an extra size balcony. So if you're after a balcony, deck 10 is the place to be. We're in the aft part of the ship and very close to getting to all the different things that the ship has to offer other than midship. The next thing, food. I have to be able to say that the food has been a lot better on this cruise, and P&O have done a terrific job. They have introduced some new innovations. So if you look forward to the anytime dining or the scheduled dining, that's gone out the window. So you have to book in any of the restaurants on the ship. That's easy through their app, and you can book right at the very start. So basically you get to dine at your time, and you can link with friends or relatives that have come on board with you so that you can have a whole party together. So that was good. Now also the main dining area is called the waterfront, and that's, I guess, modern Australian cuisine, and it's very good. They have the same menu for 3 days and they alternate. The food is very up to par with other cruise lines, although there are some misses, but mostly top notch. They do have 2 other restaurants that are complimentary, Angelo's, an Italian restaurant, and the Dragon Lady, a Chinese restaurant. Both of them are good, but they tend to have a limited menu, and if you don't like Chinese or Italian, then the waterfront's the place to go. They do have a couple of other restaurants that you have to pay for, just like on any other ship, but if you've got if you've got credit, then that's not a problem. Now the one thing that, particularly for people who are viewing this from overseas, if you're a Princess, Holland America, celebrity cruiser, then you might find this next part a bit odd. You have to pay for your burgers, you have to pay for your pizza on P&O. Now if you've got credit, that's not a big deal. Also, if you've got credit, everything is quite reasonable, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. So just bear that in mind, and you'll have a great time. So what else is there to talk about? Well, all the other things that you find on a normal cruise ship and during sea days, trivia and all those sorts of things, arts and crafts, games, everything that you would find on any cruise line, you'll find here. So what about families and kids? Well, P&O is a family-oriented cruise line, so you will find lots of families and lots of kids. Fortunately, if you book at the right time, you can minimise that if you don't want to bump into families and kids. And this cruise in particular, it was at the end of New South Wales holidays. Queensland holidays had finished, so the number of families on board was a lot less than I thought, and that made it pleasing for me. I don't have any problem with families and children, but I will always try and book outside of school holidays. So that's about it. I hope that you enjoy that. We're going to go for a walk around the ship so you can see what changes have been made. If you've sailed with Princess, you'll see some familiarities, and I hope that you'll enjoy the trip around. I'm Craig for Uber Cruises. Thanks for joining. So this is our cabin. Fairly standard cabin that you would find in most cruise ships. Large TV. It does have a fridge down below, but it doesn't work. I think they describe it as a cooler rather than a fridge. So if you've got medical supplies that need refrigerating, you do need to contact the ship. Plenty of hanging space, and there's a cupboard. I've been in larger areas. One thing that's annoying is that they have a sensor light in here. I don't think that's a P&O thing, that must be a Princess thing, but it's pretty hopeless. If you're a big person, you might struggle with the shower. That's the shower. It's quite small, but again, fairly standard fare. So I mentioned the balcony on deck 10 is the largest of the standard balconies.
This is the Black Circus, where you can see paid adult productions and during the day trivia, movies and so forth. The Marquee, where all the major productions occurred. The Blue Room is where you can get your favourite drink and listen to some great live music. The Blue Room has great ambience, providing a great place to hide away for a while. At night, it's the ship's nightclub. Here you can dance the night away. The Explorer Hotel has a great pub atmosphere. Grab a drink and play some trivia, or better still, become a singing sensation during karaoke. The lobby is a great place to sit down and have a rest, have a coffee at the Avalon Cafe and listen to some live music. The casino speaks for itself. Not exactly my cup of tea, but it has all the games and slot machines that you would desire. There is also an area for the kids to play games and give their money back to the ship. Or should I say their parents' money. The Encounter has a number of shops that you can purchase all sorts of things, such as jewellery, perfumes, and of course clothing. Luke's Bar and Grill, very popular for a steak and seafood. The 400 Gradi is a pizza restaurant providing great pizza at an extra cost. The Pacific Encounter has 3 free restaurants. The first is a Chinese restaurant, Dragon Ladies. The second is an Italian restaurant, Angelo's. And the third is the Waterfront, which has modern Australian cuisine. They were all very good. I personally preferred the Waterfront restaurant for the variety of food. However, Angelo's gave you a great ambience and the Dragon Lady gave you some great Chinese food. The menus rotated every 3 days, so you got a good selection of food to choose from. Unlike many other cruise lines, you have to pay for your burgers and for your pizza beside the pool. I guess that's the price of a cheaper cruise. Walking through the Lido deck, we have plenty of places to sit down and eat. The buffet is called the pantry, and it's divided up into 6 different sections from different countries around the world. The food is great. My only criticism is that the food is the same every day. The last day of the cruise they did bring out a big mountain of prawns, which was great, but otherwise most of the food was the same every day. As we continue walking to the aft of the ship, we approach the adult only area, which was a great place to go because I really don't like having kids under my feet. It had a pool which was least used, so that was the place to go for a dip during the cruise. The Encounter has the Altitude Nightclub, which is that strange platform at the rear of the ship and can be accessed by a ramp from the main part of the boat. It was, in fact, the nicest place to be. It was the quietest place. It was not frequented by many people, so if you wanted a really quiet place to go to, that was the place. At night, apparently, they use it as a nightclub and DJs are up there, but we never went there at night. But during the day, a great place to be if you wanted to read a book and get out of other people's hair. If you're a frequent user of the Princess Line, then you would be very familiar with this area, with the giant screen, the pool and the deck chairs. It was well frequented by most people. Sometime this year they're going to whack a water park in this space. This is the internal pool, and again it was very well frequented by families. time to go back to the cabin. Hope to catch up with you again soon. Bye.